everybody, welcome to Round the Twist, episode 283. It's February 1st, 2017, and in case you can't tell from the way I look, it's been a day. Deep into the three-nager with Gabe. Oh yeah. So, plus hubby's trying to flip the sleep schedule back because he's working night shift the next couple nights. So, hence the messy mom bun, no makeup, old ratty t-shirt. I don't have yoga pants on. I do actually have jeans, but yeah. Hi, how y'all doing? So it's actually been a decent week for knitting and for crafting. So let's jump right in. What I have on my needles, I'm going to start off with what's in my large Stitch by Jessalou cupcake box bag. Is the hashtag for Megan knit along, which was started by Birdlike Bags after Megan, the creator behind the Cyborgs Craft Room, died very suddenly this summer. So it was basically the whole point behind the knit along. There's no prizes, there's no deadline. It's just to knit through your at least one project for your from your Cyborgs Craft Room stash, and just reflect on life, basically, and enjoy the colors and everything that Megan was so good at doing. So I pulled out what I thought was the only skein of Cyborgs Craft Room. It is her Asakalate base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend. And the colorway is Ain't No Party Like a Cyborg Party, which I'm getting close. I don't know how many grams I have left. I should take this upstairs and weigh it on the kitchen scale. But thanks to a lovely long meeting at work last night, I got a lot done. I really hadn't done that much on this week. I'd gotten maybe 3 garter ridges and that was it. And I was kind of, well, that's kind of piddly. And then a 2-hour meeting at work helped me finish this. So let me get it flipped around here so you all can see. The pattern is Trillion by Martina Ben. And I'm knitting it up on a US 3, which is a larger needle size than what the pattern calls for. But I'm liking the gauge that I'm getting. And it's garter stitch, and it's not really going to be a shawl. It's going to be a scarf-ish thing. Similar to the Hitchhiker pattern because it comes from the same series that Martina Bain did. So it's this elongated triangle. And it's coming along beautifully. I'm loving how all the speckles are coming up, like every stitch. Every single little stitch on the needles is a different color, and I love it. And then where I'm at, I'm just getting tangled today. I don't know what's going on. Having issues. So there's my little progress marker, dangly stitch marker that I have. I got about 1.5 inches done, maybe slightly more this week. Rows are getting longer. The yarn is starting to dwindle. So we'll see. I don't think I'll be able to finish this week, but maybe. I'm getting a little distracted from this project, so since I'm losing focus on it, I might need to set it down but this is my mindless knitting right now. But if I'm starting to feel distracted from it and like it's work, I'll set it down and focus on something else, since focus is my word of the year so far, what I want to do with my knitting, my crafting, my life in general. I don't want to feel so scattered. I want to be able to hone in on the things that I'm enjoying, rather than feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to have progress on 6 projects for the show this week. Daisy, come here. Speaking of focus, come on. Jump, Munchkin. Ready? This one. I don't know who. I'm guessing the neighbor's kid, opened the side gate to our backyard, and I can't see the side gate from our back door. And someone, who shall remain nameless, went on a little walkabout this morning. I went to let Phoebe in. I went to let both dogs in from being outside. And I let Phoebe in. There was no sign of Daisy. And I freaked, because if my hubby wakes up from his nap and his dog is gone, he will not be happy. So I hurried up and threw shoes on. I closed the gate, which does not lock from the inside. We need to do something about that. So that's going to go on the project list for around the house. And I went running up and down the street in the neighborhood, trying not to yell too loudly. I went the wrong way first, and then I saw her the other direction. And she came toward me and then decided to play keep away. Didn't you, Munchkin? She's like, I'm not looking at you. Look at the ears back. She knows she's in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, now she's not even making eye contact with you guys. Oh, there we go. That's a help. Help me. You're okay, Munchkin. Okay. Oh, do you have the moose? Should we show everyone your moose? Bring it here. This is her new favorite toy that she got for Christmas. Come on, bring the moose. Bring it. Daisy, come on. Come on, bring it here. Come on. So, normally we get her stuffing-free toys because she likes to rip them apart. But I could not resist this stuffed moose that has squeakers in the paws that she has not taken out yet, but drive her nuts. And it flies really well. So, that is her new favorite toy ever. And the way she brings it to my husband is hilarious. She comes running up and it's like, here, Daddy, moose. And just flops it on him. It's almost bigger than she is, honestly, so I don't know why she loves it so much, but hey, she does. Okay, so first thing on the needles, done. Trillion. Finished. Well, not finished, but I'm finished telling you about it. Second thing is something you guys haven't seen in a while. The disappointing striped sweater. Yeah, that's right. I pulled it out again. Because I realized winter here in Colorado is dwindling. Yeah, it's only February 1st. Yesterday it was 61 here. It was January 31st and it was 61 degrees. That's insane. So if I want Tara to have any kind of wear out of this sweater this winter, spring, I need to get it done. So I pulled it out the last couple of nap times and decided, okay, I just need to bite the bullet because the next step was to sew up the hems on. So the pattern is the Playful Stripes cardigan by Alana Dakos, and I'm using Lisa Souza's Blueface Leicester worsted weight. It is not superwash, which was probably a mistake on my part. Oh, what was I thinking? Anyway, the colorways are Gray Blade and Joseph's Coat. So let me show you where I'm at. So sweater, here we go. So the yoke is Joseph's Coat. The main body of the sweater and the sleeves obviously is the Gray Blade, and then there's little garter stitch stripes down at the bottom. So basically when you knit this sweater, you are supposed to, you knit a little bit in stockinette, you knit a row that has some yarn overs in it. I'm trying not to give away the pattern in the secret sauce since it is a sale pattern, not sale, it's not on sale, but oh, you know what I mean. It's a for sale pattern. There we go. So I don't want to give it away. And then to make the lovely little scalloped picot edges, you fold at that yarn over row and sew it up. Sounds like Tara's trying to jump off her bed. So then you get this lovely little picot edge. You can see my seam. I feel like I did a good job on it. I mean, obviously it's not completely invisible. It's basically whip stitched down, but it is down. It is still stretchy. It is secure. So yay. And then, so I did the two sleeves and I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. Now I get to do the whole bottom, which is this whole length, and it's huge. Or it's lengthy, I should say. So we've got a lovely picot edge for the whole thing. And I had Tara try it on last night. And remember how I talked about my daughter's orangutan arms? How I was lengthening the sleeves because from her underarm to her wrist, that measurement was 11.5 inches. And the size 6 in the pattern says knit to 11 inches. And I was like, oh, heck no. So I lengthened it up to, I think, 13 or 13.5 inches. I don't remember. Tried it on her last night. Yeah, it covers her whole hand. So we'll be turning up the cuffs at least this year. So the next step, and this is where my mindset does not follow the pattern writer's mindset. It does not make sense to me. The next step is to pick up the front edges and knit the button bands. Now, in my brain, natural thing for me to do would be to, you know, sew up these underarm seams so you actually have sleeves. That would be my next step, because you already have your needle out from sewing up the seams, so the hems, so why wouldn't you do the underarm seams too and close that up? I don't know. So right now I'm debating what I'm going to do next. I'm really leaning toward just mattress stitching the sleeves closed so that they're nice and tidy and done. And then when I'm done with, and then weaving in all these ends that I have to weave in, which isn't nearly as many as it could be. Because if you do the pattern according to how they wrote it, you would have one whole side of this yoke that is full of ends to weave in. So I saved myself by using a multicolor on the yoke. And I think it came out beautiful. A little bit of pooling, but not too bad. And she doesn't mind. She tried it on, she immediately proclaimed that it was beautiful. And no, I want to wear it when I asked her to take it off. So she ran around the living room for about 5 minutes and then acquiesced to letting me remove the sweater. So Playful Stripes, Disappointing Stripes cardigan for various reasons. You can go over to my project page and read why over on Ravelry. But I used, for the knitting up, I used a US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter needle, and a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter needle. Obviously, the pattern, I adapted the pattern. I think I knit the 9-month-old size because that's what worked out for the measurements, because the pattern actually calls for sport weight and I'm using worsted nightmare. I got it adapted though, so I was happy. And everything seems to be along the lines ready to fit her, so yay! And the hems are sewn up, which is the thing I was most worried about doing, so huzzah. Last thing that I've been working on this week is riding around in this gorgeous bag, giant bag, that Amy Froggy Monkey of the Knitting in Circles podcast made for me. This is the Juggling Hexes, my stained glass take 2, stained glass Afghan take 2. The pattern is Juggling Hexes by Wendy Harbaugh. It's a free pattern available over on Ravelry, and it will take you over to the website where it's available, where you can see the pattern. I'm using a bunch of old scraps from socks in the past, and right now it is just scraps of socks that rock. So this whole bag has nothing but that in it. And then the Loopy U Solid series is in between, used for the final round. And this is their 100% superwash merino in black, just straight black. That's all it is. So last week I had 2 done. I went a little crazy. I now have 6 finished. It's bigger. It's definitely bigger. So I started with this one in the center, which someone was very kind to point out when I said I didn't know the colorway. They said, I think it's Krabby McCrabby Pants. I'm not going to try to find the names of all these because I don't know, and some of them aren't on the Blue Moon website anymore. So Krabby McCrabby Pants, I think this one was Rocktober, and I'm using both a mix of lightweight and medium weight socks that rock. So this is a lightweight, this one's a medium weight. I believe this one is Spinel, this one is Ruby Slippers. I don't know what this one is. I think it's Chanticleer, but I could be wrong. I don't remember having a lightweight in Chanticleer. And again, this one, I can't remember. It was from the club. It looks really blue on the little screen, but it's actually purples. And the main reason, so I'll tell you that in just a bit. So 6 done. I managed to finish 4 this week. That was even with working the weekend. Like I'd come home at night and be like, I can at least get the center done. And then the next night I'd do the black and join it on. And it gave me a way to have a little bit of release at the end of the day. So obviously I decided not to do rows. I've been working this. I'll put another one down here and then keep building out in a circle until I think it's wide enough. And then I'll just start filling in, I think, right now. That's the plan anyway. Who knows? Or I'll just keep tacking on one side. So I'm using an F hook for that, a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, just a cheapo Susan Bates. In fact, I had to go get another one. It's somewhere in here. The hook's somewhere down in the bag. I don't know where it's at. Oh, there it is. Found it. Right there. Just El Cheapo. Like $2.50. I think mine was on sale. When I stopped at Joann's, they currently have all their knitting needles crochet hooks on sale for, I think it's at least 25% off. I could be wrong, 20 or 25% off. So rather than being $2.50, it was $2, which is kind of nice. So 6 of them done. Yay. And I'm just pulling stuff out as I go. So that's everything that I've been working on this week. So nothing for pokey things. With Various and Sundry, I do have a little bit for you. My friend Sarah, my very good friend Sarah, that is knitworthy, I got a frantic text from her last week saying, do you have any more of the yarn for these socks? And she sent me a picture. So I've been knitting her socks for quite a few years now. And she has saved all of them. And at first she started off darning them with like embroidery floss. And I went, Sarah, no. If you want the yarn, I have scraps left. I can send them to you. Just let me know. So the one she sent me weeks ago was out of this. It's Volmiza. Obviously I have quite a bit left. I think it's the Pesto, yes, the Pesto colorway. And I knit one of the books out of one of the socks out of Sock Innovation for it, intending it for someone else. Well, they ended up going to Sarah because I lost contact with that other person. So I'll be sending her probably not this whole ball, but at least some of it. And then 2 nights ago, she sent me another frantic picture saying, okay, I know some of these are probably a long shot, but if you have any of this yarn, this yarn, this yarn, or this yarn left, let me know. So let me see if I can hang on. Let me see if I can find this picture for you. Yeah, nope, it wasn't that one. This one. So she sends me this picture through Google. See if it's going to be hard to see. So with her camera and me going through my phone going, I don't know. The first one over here is some hand spun that I did. I can't remember the name of it, but all the rest of it I made up into the old hexies, and I didn't undo these yet. So and they're all different. I don't know what part of the sock she needs. If she needs stuff that's more green or stuff that's more purple, I don't know. I've got some of each. So I'm sending the whole pile of hexies over to her as well. The second one is the Hermione's Everyday Socks that I knit her in the Indigo Dragonfly colorway of Have Fun Storm in the Castle. I knit those for her for being a bridesmaid in our wedding, and I still have a ball of that left, so that's making its way up to Minnesota as well. The third ones, I can't remember. Oh, it's over on my Ravelry page, and I'm sorry I didn't look this up. We call them the Lost socks between her and I because we were huge into Lost. We used to call each other up after Lost aired every week and discuss the plot points and see if we could try to figure out some of the mysteries, and yeah, we never did. But it was a fun way to catch up every week, pretty much. And we discussed conspiracy theories behind the show and all of that. I can't remember the company. I should just look it up for you guys, but I'm not going to go clicking on my computer. But the colorway was 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, which you'll remember from the very beginning. Season 1 was this huge thing. It was the series of numbers. Desmond always had to enter into that little doomsday device to save the island every so many hours. So that we're down, this device was down in the hatch that they discovered in season 1. That's the third pair that's on there, and yeah, that that is long gone. I have no idea. I don't even think I had that much left for scraps, because I think, if I remember right, the skeins were short. So I told her, yeah, probably not those, but I'm sorry, I can try to send you something matching. She goes, no, I knew that one was a long shot. I haven't worn them in a long time, so not a big deal. But she keeps them just because it's the first pair of socks that I ever knit for her. And then the final ones are a pair of monkey socks that I did, it looks like. And those are out of that last hexagon colorway. So I had been picking the hexagon colors randomly, just shove my hand in the bag and pull one out like a lottery drawing. But when she said she needed that one, I went, okay, that one, I want at least one hexagon out of it. So I pulled it out and specifically put a hexie onto the stained glass blanket. So I could still have some of it, and I will send the rest of that yarn along to her. I might keep back enough to do maybe one more hexagon and then send the rest to her, because she doesn't need a whole lot to darn, but she will darn and redarn these socks and keep wearing them. And that is a sign of a knit-worthy friend in my book. If they're willing to go to those lengths just because you knit them something and don't just use my darning methods, which is to hold it over the trash can and say, darn it, as you drop it in. Yeah, she's worth my time. She's a really good friend, and she's totally worth my time to knit socks for. So, I went digging for darning yarn for Sarah, and luckily was able to find 3 of the 4, actually 4 of the 5 that she needed. So, yay. Sarah, don't let them get that bad anymore. I know you watch the show, so don't let them get that bad anymore. You let me know, and I'll, from now on, I think I started with her birthday socks this last year. Maybe it was the one before. I've started sending like a mini skein along with her pair of socks. So she already has the yarn for them and available. So I'll keep up with that. But if you find any more, please let me know, Sarah. I'll try digging through the stash and finding it for you. So we're going to do some questions out of the Any Questions thread. As always, if you've got questions for me, please head over to the Ravelry board. Let me know, and I'll try to address it on the show. So yeah, let's jump over there. This one's from Sweet Apples. On Ravelry, she said, a long time ago you were making an afghan for a friend as a wedding present, I think. It was a log cabin pattern, if I remember correctly. I must have missed the episode where you showed finishing it, though. Did you finish and get it to the recipient? Was it well received? I remember watching you talk about it each week as the rows got longer and longer. I'd love to find out what happened to it. So you're talking about the modern log cabin blanket, the full-size one. It was in shades of brown. The pattern is out of the first Mason-Dixon knitting book. I did finish it. The last 2 squares were abbreviated, shall we say, because the person in question, I will not call her a friend. She was a coworker. Started pretty much alienating herself from the rest of us that were at work. And so I was not, let's just say I was not knitting good karma into that blanket, and I just wanted it done and out of the house. So I did finish it. I did give it to her. It was a gift from about 9 of us at work because there was a lot of money invested in the yarn for it because I wanted her to be able to wash it. I don't know if she's still using it. No idea. I have no contact with the woman. I will say she is what I would consider not knit-worthy, because even though it was a gift from all of us at work, not a single one of us received a thank you card when she knew how much time was invested in that and how many people had donated to it. So, yeah. I think I have a picture of it up over on my Ravelry page if you want to head over there. It's scroll down through the projects. It's back there a good 4 or 5 years ago now. So, yeah. I didn't get it to her at the wedding because it wasn't done yet. I did get it to her probably a month and a half later, though. Okay. So, Sweet Apples, hope that answers your question. And then a very interesting one from Samash Williams 94, SAMASH WILLIAMS 94. What comes first for you when it comes to projects, the pattern or the yarn? Oh God, it's like the chicken and the egg question. It's both. Sometimes I find a pattern I absolutely love, and I find the yarn that will work with it. Other times I will find the yarn that I love, and make the pattern work with it, like the Playful Stripes cardigan. I knew I had that pattern already. I knew I wanted to make it for Tara. But then the yarn, specifically the colors that I wanted, were not available in the weight that I needed. So I got it in the worsted weight and I made it work. Most of the time now, I think I'm at the point in my knitting career that hobby career, it's a career. If you're doing something over 10 years, it's a career. I think when I started, I was more, ooh, pretty yarn, and I'll find something that'll work for it. Now I feel like I've become a lot more meticulous because I don't want my stash just sitting there and not being used, waiting to find that pattern that'll go with that yarn. So we're not being able to use a yarn because I'm just 50 yards shy or 100 yards shy. I don't. So someone's not sleeping. So I'd say as of right now, I do pattern first. And it has to be a pattern I really love and something that speaks to me if I'm going to use it. But pattern first, and then I'll find the yarn that I want. But yeah, pattern or the yarn, it's really, every knitter's different. It's chicken or the egg. It goes both ways. Sometimes you find the pattern and then the yarn has to be hunted, and other times the yarn speaks to you and you have to find the pattern that the yarn wants to be. It goes both ways. Hopefully that answers your questions, guys. Again, if you have anything you want to ask me, please head over to the Ravelry group to the Any Questions thread. It should be stickied at the top of the board, and post your questions there. And as long as people keep posting, I'll keep this section going and keep answering them. So I guess that's it. I've got a little bit more nap time that I can maybe, or non-nap time since I hear Tara. I just heard a bam and a oof. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But I'm going to try to go get some stuff done. And until next week, happy knitting.